Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the channel. Mantok Productions here. And where is he going? We're going to be flying today from Portland International Airport, which is, I am sitting here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, to Bowerman, which is an airport northwest up on the coast. So if I bring over our charts today, we're going to be flying using a little nav map, which is a freeware application that I highly recommend for those of you getting into Microsoft Flight Simulator who want to understand how to navigate properly. This is a great tool, freeware as I say. We're going to be flying from Portland using a radial up towards the coast, going to be passing overhead an airport in this direction here, Astoria. And then from there we're going to be flying a much more northerly route up to, this is Bowerman. We're going to be flying to this VOR here, Hoyaquim, and then inbound to Bowerman. Bowerman, I have a kind of, a lot of good memories of Bowerman because this was one of the original Orbex freeware sceneries that they did for FSX back in the day, and so I got it for free like everyone else, and I did a lot of fun flying in that area. So of course we don't actually have any payware scenery for Bowerman in Microsoft Flight Simulator yet, but the scenery is good enough that it's almost like the freeware scenery was back in the day. So that's how far I think the default scenery for MSFS has come on since those days. So if I zoom in, you can see we're on VATSIM, which is the virtual air traffic simulation. We have two other aircraft here on the ground that are prepping for departure, and you can see us here on the GA ramp on the eastern side of Portland. So when you zoom in on a little nav map, you really can zoom in all the way and you can see each individual parking spot, their names and the taxiways and the names of the taxiways and runways as well. It's a really fantastic freeware tool. I highly recommend it. There's a lot of payware briefing apps that you can get, you have to pay for, that give you this. And so the fact that you get this for free is really great. So it's like an EFB almost. So, yeah, so today we're going to be taking off from here. If I just move this over. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the aircraft. So this is the Carenado Piper Seminole. For those of you who are long-time viewers of the channel, you will be wondering, hang on a second, Peter, why are you flying a Carenado aircraft? Because shall I say traditionally, Carenado are known for their beautiful modeling, beautiful texturing, beautiful visuals, but when it actually comes to the systems simulation of the aircraft, the documentation and that sort of thing, all of the backup details that really go into make an add-on high quality, Carenado historically aren't really known for that. They're known for the eye candy and not much else. So I've flown this a couple of times already, off, you know, not online or any live streams, and there are a few early bugs that I think need to be dealt with. But I think at this stage it is flyable on VATSIM. You can have a lot of fun. I flew last night on VATSIM in the UK in this aircraft, and you know I didn't do anything terribly wrong, so we're going to try that again today. Of course, there's a lot less traffic in this region of the world than there is in the UK, but I've done a lot of UK flying recently and decided that I've got to change it up and fly somewhere else. Anyway, enough babbling, let's get stuck in. So, with this aircraft, there is not much in the way of checklists, which is very sad. Let's just close these here. Co-pilot door, close and close. So we actually have openable and closable doors, which is nice, a little step up from the default aircraft. But how much of a step up from default aircraft this add-on is remains to be seen. So we'll be just cruising around and having a look at stuff. So unfortunately, we don't actually have a full checklist. I think there are actually checklists on the other side of the sun visor here. But unfortunately, every time I click on the sun visor for it to come down, the simulator crashes. As well as clicking on the window here to open this little window, the simulator also crashes. Whether it's the animations that's causing that crash or the corresponding coding that's gone into that, I have no clue. I don't know why the temperature is reading such a ridiculous figure, but we will find out. So there's a couple of things like that, a couple of labels on the carburetor heat and stuff that need work, but apart from that, let's just get the thing started, shall we? Okay, we could go to click on these cold and dark, ready for taxi. We could cheat essentially, but I'm not going to do that. So, or I'm going to try not to. The Piper Seminole checklists, they only give you the takeoff checklist and the landing checklist, as if those are the only two checklists you actually need. Yes. So, unfortunately, and I've tried to look for some documentation in my folder systems, and not come up with any kind of documentation that they may have, added in. So, I don't really know. It's a pretty sparse add-on in terms of documentation and help to get the thing started, but we will do our best. So what we'll do is we will try to do a startup of one of the engines on the ground. We'll get the radio, we'll get the electrics running off the engines, and then we will contact ground, which I hope is still online. Yes, we have Portland Tower. We have ATIS as well, which is going to be helpful. Okay, so for the engine start, first thing we do, come down here to the fuel. Fuel is currently off, so let's turn both fuel switches on. That will provide fuel, which is helpful. Next thing we do, we can come down. Let's just make sure that the cowl flap, let's just open up the cowl flaps. And my track IR doesn't actually go down far enough for me to actually physically see that lever. I just have to try and drag it, so sorry about that. Carb heat's cold, cowl flaps are open. Let's make mixtures rich. Props are full, and let's crack the throttles a little bit, shall we? On with the two fuel pumps. We will turn the battery on in a second. Recognition lights on. Battery's on. You can hear the two fuel pumps going now. Now what we're going to do is open up our guard switches on the mags. We're going to go right engine first. So let's put the mags on for the right engine and close those guards. Let's prime 1, 2, 3. Make sure that our parking brake is in, and hit the start button, and up she comes. And immediately just watch T's and P's. So the fuel pressures are both okay. Cylinder heads will come up. The most important thing is the oil pressure, and the oil pressure is not rising. Now that's a problem. That's a big problem. In real life, you would be looking at the right-hand oil pressure, and if that doesn't rise almost immediately or start rising, you have issues. I have a feeling if I go to start the left engine now, 1, 2, 3. With the start of both engines, I would hope that the oil pressure... Oh. Okay, it sounded like the left engine had stopped there for a second. Yeah. That's strange. Alternators on. Oh, duh. Stupid, I didn't turn them on. Okay. There in the green, oil temp is coming up. Fuel. In terms of fuel, we should be fine today. We have, oh, actually, let's give ourselves about 70, let's say 80% fuel on either side. That should be more than enough. Also, they've not given us kilograms yet, as far as I can see. Maybe that's something hidden in the main menu that I have to tweak, but I don't know. Yeah, so the engine looks okay. Both engines look okay right now. Just check there. Engine monitoring looks okay then. Okay, so with both engines started and idling, let's just idle at 1000 RPM on both engines. Let's bring those down. And also... Oh! Okay, so this is a problem with my throttle quadrant. When I bring my mixture down to 75%, which I usually do to lean for ground operations, the sensor in my throttle quadrant is a bit faulty. And it takes the throttle, yep, it takes them all the way down to almost idle cutoff. So essentially I need to replace this. This is an old plastic Cytec throttle quadrant that is like 9 years old, so it's, yeah, and I bought it secondhand whenever I did buy it in the first place, so. Okay, so don't need to have the strobes on right now. We can have the nav lights on. And radios, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so radios are coming in. You see the little gauges flicker there. We're going to be on VLOC today. We're going to be using radio navigation, sorry, not radial navigation. Well, both actually. Let's turn on our transponder. And let's tune the ATIS. So ATIS, this is VPilot. This is... Why is my aircraft rocking back and forwards? Okay, I'm not sure that I like that, but okay. ATIS is 128.35. Like so.
Portland Airport information Alpha 1800 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 2. Sky condition. Few clouds at 700 feet. Few clouds at 4,300 feet. Few clouds at 12,000 feet. Temperature 4. Dew point 10. Altimetry 0.37. ILS runway 10 left in use. Landing and departing runway tree. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Alpha.
Okay.
Airport information Bravo 1800 Zulu.
Oh.
Visibility 2. Sky condition. Few clouds at 700 feet. Few clouds at 4,300 feet. Few clouds at 12,000 feet. Temperature 4. Dew point 10. Altimetry 0.37. ILS runway 10 left in use. Landing and departing runway tree. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact.
Okay.
You have Bravo.
Okay, that's information Bravo. So now that we have that, let's go over to the tower controller, who is 123.775. Let's change that. 123.775. Like so.
As on base, 16 mile turning right for 10 right, information Sierra.
Southwest 4447, Portland Tower, good morning. Wind calm, runway 10 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 10 right, Southwest 4447.
Okay, we're just typing in our flight plan. That's KPDX. and a landing is KHQM. So KPD DX, direct to AST, and then direct to HQM, and then direct to KHQM. We are flying IFR, and takeoff time is 6, 7, 8, 18. Let's go 18:20 Zulu. The time's an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 50 minutes. Let's say 6,000. Yeah, okay, 6,000 for cruise. That should be okay. So filed flight plan. Flight plan filed. Right. Let's pull up that flight plan, and we will have that takeoff checklist ready for when he's looking for it. If I bring my charts over once more, just before we start taxiing. He said 10 left for... 10 left is active, ILS 10 left is active, and then he said a runway 3, or 03 for departure maybe, so that we're going to have to listen carefully to his taxi instructions. So... Portland Tower, good morning, Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo.
Lima, or correction, India Foxtrot Romeo, Portland Tower, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo is requesting IFR to Bowerman as filed with information Bravo, altimeter 3037.
India Foxtrot Romeo, roger. Clear to the Queen Bowerman Airport. Portland 1 departure, radar vectors Astoria, then is filed. Maintain 6,000. Departure is offline. And squawk 1675.
That is cleared IFR to the destination Portland 1 departure, not above 6,000 feet. And squawk 1675, India Foxtrot Romeo.
India Foxtrot Romeo, read back correct. Push and start your discretion. Call short of Alpha when ready for taxi, and expect runway 10 left at Echo for departure.
Start at discretion, and we'll call ready for taxi at Alpha, and expecting 10 left. India Foxtrot Romeo.
Portland Tower, Delta 223.
Okay, so he...
Delta 223, runway 10 left at Echo, taxi via Kilo Echo.
He gave me a few different things there that I
Kilo
was
Echo
expecting.
to 10 left, Delta 223.
So he said start at my discretion and call when at Alpha. So I'm going to taxi at my own discretion up to, probably using whiskey here, up to, and hold at Alpha, or... Yeah, that's right. Hold at Alpha. And I will expect...
Oh, and India Foxtrot Romeo, do you have a GPS on board? Are you RNAV capable?
I would prefer RNAV flying if that's possible for India Foxtrot Romeo.
Alright, India Foxtrot Romeo, thanks. I'll put that in your flight plan.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's one of those details I may have missed. I am not really up on those particular details and how they appear in your flight plan. So, yeah, I'm going to taxi up to and hold before coming onto Alpha. And he's going to give me... There's Alpha 4, Alpha 5, Alpha 3, Alpha 2, and Alpha 1. Pretty sure he said hold short of Alpha. So, okay. Right, I'm just going to taxi on to Alpha, or taxi up to Alpha, and then see what he says. Okay, so we have started. What we will do is we will do our takeoff checklist. We'll run through some of the items here right before we start. So fuel selectors are on. They are. Electric fuel pumps are on. Alternators are on. Engine gauges, we have checked them. Let's just recheck them.
223 when able.
Yeah, looking good.
Mode Charlie.
Engine gauges checked.
Turned off. Okay, mode Charlie,
mixture set. Propeller set. Carb heat is off. Cow flaps are set. Seat backs are erect. Flaps are set. Let's give ourselves one notch. Trim set and controls free. Okay. And doors latched, air conditioners off. So that's actually the takeoff checklist. So
44, 47,
we should be good to
left when able and taxi via.
Let's just get in position here.
Actually, let's see. Let's go Bravo 4 Tango Kilo to the ramp. Thanks for flight.
We're off the runway left at Bravo 4. We'll turn left Tango down to Kilo to our new Echo gauge for Southwest 4447.
And Delta 223, something's interesting with your approach transponder. It's turned off again. Yeah, set it back to mode C if you can.
Alright, just did. That's weird.
Right, Delta 223, thanks. And wind is calm, runway 10 left at Echo, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 10 left at Echo, Delta 223.
Okay, just as we hold there, let me just readjust a few things. Let's come over to, oh, I needed to put a 1675. I should have done that. Okay. India Foxtrot Romeo is holding short of Alpha and ready for departure.
India Foxtrot Romeo, confirm squawking mode Charlie, then runway 10 left at Echo, taxi via Alpha Echo.
Squawk Charlie, and we'll taxi via Alpha and Echo to runway 10 left. India Foxtrot Romeo. Let's just double check. Alpha and Echo. Yeah, there's Echo, here's Alpha. So he said all the way down Alpha, Echo, and then runway 10 left. But I will hold short, obviously, of the runway. So.
And Delta 223, leaving my airspace to the east, monitoring Calm 122.8. Have a good flight.
22.8, Delta 223, see ya.
So the Piper Seminole takes a little bit of oomph to start rolling. But once she's rolling, she really does pick up speed on the taxiway very quickly. So I'm just going to taxi at just around 1,000 RPM. Let's actually drag that off screen. I feel like my anti-aliasing settings have changed because a lot of things are blinking at me. A lot of pixelated things are blinking. I feel like maybe my settings have reset themselves to default or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, so while we're in the taxi, let's just look. Our first VOR to tune to is the Portland VOR, which is just here at the airport. It's actually 111.8. There's ourselves some nice looking autogen, or model matching, shall I say. I don't expect the Microsoft Flight Simulator model matching to get any better anytime soon. We're probably going to be stuck with that sort of thing on VATSIM for a while in this sim platform. So that was 111.8. So let's click like so, and then go 111.8. That's the VOR tuned. And because we're on the ground, we probably won't really pick that up until we're airborne, and so the first radial is going to be 284. So I'm going to... Oh, this is one of these things I don't like about... Actually, let's worry about that in a moment when we... So this is Tango. Yeah, this is Tango we're passing here now. Hello, Hawaiian. Nice. That's at least some sort of model matching going on. And then we need to cross over to Echo. So this is Tango. And...
In India Foxtrot Romeo, flight heading 010 on departure. Wind calm, runway 10 left at Echo, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 010 after departure, depart on, or clear to take off on runway 10 left via Echo, India Foxtrot Romeo. Blah, 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 blah. All these things. Okay, so he said after departure... he's doing this again. I've got to... Okay, focus, focus. Now when crossing the runway threshold, we go strobes on, landing lights on. Mixture is rich. Check approach and departure. So he said 10 correction.
Additional aircraft, Portland Tower will be closing in about 10 minutes.
Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, come on! Stop jumping around. There we go. And then our course, like I said earlier on, is going to be 284, was it? Yeah, 284 on the course. Set. Okay. Right. Park brake off. Power up gradually. Now just using the rudder, keep us on the center line, and watching that speed build. Coming up through 70, 80, 90, let's go up. Now watch the landing gear. What kind of landing gear sequence was that? Okay, pulling the power and the throttle both back. Going back to 2200 RPM and about 20 inches manifold. And trimming. And the nose is quite twitchy in this aircraft. Okay, now we're set, and let's go flaps up. Just trim again. And I do like the Portland area. I do love this little island in the middle of the river here. Coming up through 900 feet. Still 1,000 feet a minute in the climb, which is good. Doing about a 15 degree bank. Coming around, let's level out at 010 set. Okay. That was a nice departure. Now let's go on set our autopilot. So let's go heading hold.
And India Foxtrot Romeo, leave my airspace to the north. Monitor Unicom 122.8 and have a good flight.
Clear to exit the airspace to the north, and over to Unicom. Thank you very much for your ATC. Good afternoon, India Foxtrot Romeo. Okay, so let's go autopilot on, which is this button here. Goes up. Now the autopilot is on, it's engaged and it's tracking our heading, and it's holding 500 feet per minute in the climb. And yeah, so we can just begin to relax a little bit here as we think about our next step, which is 118.8, which is correct. We just don't seem to be picking up a radial here. Let's just see. 118.8. Yes, that is the correct frequency. Not sure what's going on. Okay, let's turn left. Let's come left by... Let's go to our VOR heading. Not sure why we're not picking up that VOR. This is nav 2. Because if I click that there, you can see it change. Nav 1 is here, so 111.8 is the frequency. So why I'm not picking that up, I do not know. Cylinder head temperatures are quite low, so let's bring the cylinder heads up to 50 to 40%. Also, this cylinder head and this carb heat both don't track the numbers like the ones on the left do. Now we can turn off our landing lights, and our recognition we can keep on, and our nav lights. And we can now go to Unicom, which is 122.8. Set. Now let's go back here. I'm not happy about that VOR, why it's not showing me a radial. If I... Yeah... It's not showing me anything, which is... makes me sad. 1.8... Oh, you see... Now this is one of the things with twiddling these knobs, they don't click through the numbers smoothly. I was getting annoyed earlier on about that, if you remember seeing, and I don't know if it's a Carenado thing or a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing, but it is something that is happening. So there is the Portland scenery package there. That is, oh, I can't remember the scenery developer that does that version of Portland. FSDT or something, or I don't know who it was. I'll have to find out afterwards. Yeah, climbing smoothly. I do like the aircraft. I do like twin GA aircraft. I can't wait for A2A Simulations twin. But of course they are not releasing it yet because they're taking time. They're taking their time over it, and I'm very happy that they're doing that. But I just decided to jump in and see what this aircraft is like, as this is going to probably be my stopgap GA twin in between now and A2A. Coming up to the cloud base here, we're going to pop up into the clouds and probably not see anything else for the remainder of the flight. Just because that's what the cloud is doing. Okay, so since we're not actually picking up the Portland VOR, which doesn't make much sense, I'm going to tune the VOR Astoria, the Astoria VOR, which is 114.00. 114. Let's go 00. Let's see if we can pick up. Why is that not working? It was working yesterday. Why is... Why is that not working? Why is that not working? Okay, I'm gonna go off nav 2 then. 114.00. Okay, that's not working either. Let's have a look. Let's see if the Portland VOR works on nav 2. That's 111.8. Just put that over there. That's 111.8. No, that's not even working there either. What is going wrong? I'm sorry about this, guys. My nav situation was working yesterday or last night. Let's just make sure my manifold stays at 20. That's really weird. I don't like that. I don't know why. Let's go altitude reporting as well. Coming up through 4,500 feet. Do not know why that's not working. Have I pressed all of my buttons? Yes. Radio master is on. Avionics are on. Have I forgotten something? I was navigating with radials all the evening yesterday. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, now we're IMC pretty much, so I've got to get this working or else we're going to have to just go off the GPS. I didn't want to do the GPS, I wanted to try out the radial navigation. And everything's working except that. Doesn't make sense. So just go and right click on the show nav aid range. Yeah, you see we're in range. Don't quite know what's gone wrong. Just double check the. Yeah, we're definitely above freezing, so we shouldn't have an icing issue. That's so weird. Our amps are right down. I think the amps are bugged, those two gauges though. Yeah, you see when I turn one of them off they skyrocket. Not 100% sure that's supposed to work. I do apologize. This is one of those things where nothing, and you know, you can have almost everything go according to plan, except there's always going to be one thing that's going to get messed up for no reason whatsoever when flight simming. Okay, coming up to 6,000 feet, let's just level off and decrease that climb rate so that we don't smash through that altitude. Maybe there's a mountain in the way or something? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. Let me just level off at 6,000 and then let me just pause track IR for a minute. And then zoom in. Okay, let's just sit there. And then we press the altitude hold button now. Okay. So that's that. Okay, I want to see my terrain. Oh, really? What? Come on, guys. This, I usually get an elevation plan as well, which isn't happening, so... Yeah. For some reason, picking up that VOR, which is really annoying me. That is 114.00. I'm in VLOC mode, and I'm not picking up that frequency on my Bendix King DME either. Stupid thing. Yeah, 114.00. Still not picking up any information on that. It's as if it's just completely dead. Just really strange. Just maintain 20 inches of manifold. I haven't missed anything. Ooh, we're just about cloud surfing. You know what? Let's climb a bit higher. We're in Unicom, no one cares. Let's climb up to 8,000. Climb above the clouds. Oh yes. Huh. Beautiful. Just give ourselves a bit of extra power there in the climb. That stumped me, guys. I don't know why this was working all evening last night. Yeah, I see VOR AST. So it's got that. Radial. Doesn't have any distance or radial information. Switch between GPS or VLOC to provide navigation output to an external HSI or CD. See? Nothing. So essentially, guys, what I'm going to do is just fly with heading hold until I figure out what's gone wrong. And so I'll fly the flight on heading hold, and I'll just use little nav map like a GPS, essentially, with a magenta line. And unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do there. It was working. You see, I saw Nav2 was working on the ground earlier on, and I clicked from standby to active, and that's how it changed from engaged with something to dead. Hmm. 7,900 feet to go. EGT also, I do not believe it works. Well, it does move, but ever so slightly. It's a bit of a weird one. Get some heat. Ah, the audio receiver, okay. See, it's not picking that up. wonder if it's just another. Maybe I just need another. Oh, oh, oh! There it works. There it works now. That's so strange. Maybe it was some. Maybe there was some strange. There's no mountain that's this high. I don't know. It's so weird. Okay. Well, I'm not going to kick a gift horse in the mouth. It's
flying wireless approach to runway 26, turning westbound.
Is that someone on Unicom? Yeah, there's someone on Unicom to the northeast. I can actually see him here on... he's... Cessna 172. Okay, he's probably coming into a local airport along the river or something. That's really cool. Oh, oh, yeah, you see that? I just blew through my proposed altitude. So let's just bring the VS down to negative 200 feet per minute, and we'll just slide into that 8,000 foot. And let's bring the manifold down to 20 inches. And we'll just fly onto that radial and go from there. Okay, I am able. Okay, I now have my mixtures at about 65% up at 8,000 feet. So that's not too bad. I do just need to watch those and make sure that the throttle quadrant doesn't. There we go. Let's hold altitude hold at 8,000. And there we are, folks. Let's... And for some reason my passengers, my pilot and co-pilot models, disappear and appear at will. Let's see if I go to my stick. Oh, there we go. Okay. There you go. So, visual modeling is all very lovely.
Study traffic at Spain 109 Lima, established on the localizer runway 26.
Ah, I see. He's coming in here. He's coming into... where is it? What's it called? Astoria. He's coming into Astoria. But he's established on that localizer very far out. But, you know, it works. He's in IMC. He's going to be in clouds. So that's fine. I'm just going to come onto that radial. Nice to hear some traffic. But yeah, the visual modeling is very nice, as you would expect from Carenado. And the standard, the bar has been brought higher in MSFS. And so, but I just do hope they patch this with a new patch to fix some of the glaring issues. But I definitely will be flying this a fair amount as my my twin general aviation aircraft in both IFR and VFR configurations on VATSIM. So.
Study traffic at Spain 109 Lima, over fully established in ILS runway 26.
How do I get back to the map? That's how much I actually know about GPSs. I do not like this GPS panel. I avoid it as much as possible. The only GPS panel that I really play around with on VATSIM is the GTN 750 touchscreen, as you know, in P3D, but not these things. I have started to learn the G1000, the very basics of the G1000 in the default aircraft in Flight Sim. But yeah, it is just one of those things where we have all of these lovely airports. All the scenery is just exploding right now. It's like every week there's 3 or 4 new airports being released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but no solid aircraft. And that's because the SDK that is still being developed. So if the tools that developers need to build their nice add-ons are still being developed themselves, then there's not really much they can do about releasing high-quality aircraft add-ons yet. Although 1 or 2 interesting things have hit the market. But also the flight dynamics and flight modeling of the simulator platform still need some work, as Vitas told us in my previous video when we were flying his Valerio add-on. He said there was still some glaring issues with the flight model. Looks like we might get an area of better visibility off to the northwest. And it shows us going through that localizer, oh sorry, that radial already. I'm just going to go to nav and let that hold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm just going to give you a nice shot. And I'm going to speed up this shot so you can see us flying across the cloud tops, and you can see the cloud tops dynamically maybe changing as we go. So the aircraft is going to wobble around a bit in the sky until it picks up that radial frequency, and then it's going to fly directly into Astoria. So I will catch you back in a few moments. So you can see, ladies and gents, that we are 2.8 nautical miles, now 2.6 nautical miles away from the VOR. So what we're going to do now is make a transition from this radial to a new radial, outbound this time. Before we do that, we're going to go over to heading hold. So let's click heading hold there. And then the new radial is 328. Which is .328 set, and essentially we're going to pass over the VOR. And about now, 1 mile. Yeah, about now it becomes unreliable because we're right on top, so it can't really reliably track anything. So we're kind of in a dead zone right slap bang above. Yeah, you see it flicking around there. Let's go to 328. Well, actually we got about 10 knots crosswind from the left, so and then we'll be tracking outbound now. And then what we'll do is just wait until that radial needle calms down and then reacquire nav. That's a long bridge. Goodness me. That's a very long bridge. Scenery really is beautiful. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch on nav, and the aircraft is going to wobble around a bit and acquire that radial frequency, and then it's going to lock in to that frequency. And we've only got about 48 nautical miles to run on this track until we get to Bowerman. So at about 40 nautical miles out, then we'll begin descending. And again, I think just for fun, I will leave the camera view on an external camera here, and we can just speed up the footage and see what that looks like as we go over the terrain and pass over the clouds. Ladies and gents, welcome back. So we have made it about halfway in between our last waypoint and Bowerman. If you have a look on little nav map, let's actually get rid of this because that's no help to no one. You can see, here we go, the radial that we've chosen. The radials, so the magnetic bearing in between VORs doesn't provide us with an accurate radial, because I am currently on the 328 radial in the sim, but in the sim radial versus the line here shown is different, as you can see. So I'm offset slightly for some reason. So I'm going to come a little bit further towards the north. I'm going to go on to heading hold, and I'm going to begin my descent because I can actually see that headland out of the window now. You can see that headland just off to the north there. So I'm going to turn track IR back on, get comfortable in my seat, like so, and think about descending. So just before we do that, let's just double check VATSPI. VATSPI is the software I use to check what is going on in the VATSIM world. You can see our departure from Portland.
Flying inbound Astoria for the VOR approach to runway 8.
And you can hear him transmitting on Unicom. In fact, I was hearing him for the last 10 to 15 minutes transmitting on Unicom. It was really cool. I love it when you get that, and I might do a transmission now just to say I'm beginning my descent into Bowerman. So I might do that. Let's just pull up Bowerman traffic, Golf Lima, India Foxtrot Romeo, beginning descent into the airspace from 6,000 down to 3,000 feet.
Sorry, Chris. It's overlapped with the guy.
Oh, okay.
Say again?
No problem, just announcing Bowerman traffic to the north of you, descending from 6,000 to 3,000 feet. Okay, so, oh, sorry, not 6,000, 8,000. Stupid. Okay, I'm gonna go turn 340 and go heading hold, and the aircraft is what I find cool is the lighting when I've got the camera down on the dashboard and then I pull my camera up. The exposure takes us about a fraction of a second or so to re-expose to the outside light, much like your eyes would just take a split second just to get used to the different level of light in the outside world versus down here. And you see the exposure shift. It's really cool. Anyway, let's go to vertical speed mode, and let's put in negative 600 feet per minute, and let's pull the manifold back. I've just realized that in trying to pull the manifold back, I've now lost... Oh, there we go. Okay, hello. That just took a second or two to update. I don't know why. But let's pull that back to about 16 inches manifold pressure. And double check our... Yeah, we're still above 0, so we're fine in terms of icing. But let's throw on a little bit of carburetor icing, because in pulling the manifold down, we're actually decreasing the pressure in the manifold. That's what that is. That's essentially, we're decreasing that pressure. And when we're close to 0 degrees Celsius, that decrease in pressure creates... So if there's humid air coming into the manifold, and then it's decreasing the pressure of that humid air, the humidity has nowhere to go other than to come out of the atmosphere of the air into vapor droplets, and it might actually cause icing in the manifold, even though you're a few degrees above 0. So at least I'm fairly sure that's something that can happen. Which is why commercial airliners today, I believe one of the standard procedures is to actually engage icing, de-icing under 10 degrees Celsius. So that's you know, not like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, but that's 10 degrees Celsius, and they're already putting on de-icing, engine anti-ice at that stage, sometimes under 10,000 feet. So beautiful scenery. Oh, just love the scenery. I can't get enough of it. But I do think I do need to tweak my settings, because maybe it was since the last update the settings sometimes get reset, the graphical settings, and that might be something I need to look at, as there should be more autogen down there, I think. Just beautiful for the VFR pilot. So Bowerman, the airport is down there, and we're actually flying inbound to a VOR, or, well, we're flying heading hold, but the VOR is on the peninsula just there. And then from there we're going to turn right and come into Bowerman. So if we look at little nav map, you'll see that we have an 8-knot wind from off the ocean. And if we actually had ATIS at Bowerman, we could tune the ATIS at Bowerman, and it would tell us the wind speed, etc. But unfortunately, we don't have any ATC on at the moment, so we'll just have to make do. But there is an ILS at Bowerman, which is going to be interesting, because I would like to try out the ILS properly and see how this aircraft handles it. The ILS is 108.7. Okay, good to see that that's actually changed. And then let's go to the localizer is 240. I don't like how the needle fights me when I try and rotate. And then the second that I don't have the cursor over the knob, then it thinks I'm trying to zoom out in the cockpit, and then I zoom, because I have my zoom bound to my rotation as well, which I should probably change. Yeah, so as we clear this land, we're going to take a right-hand turn, and then we're going to do like a left-hand downwind, probably visual for Bowerman. Yeah, we'll go from IFR to VFR, and well, actually, no, sorry, we'll do an IFR approach because we want to try the localizer and glide slope and see how that works. But in terms of the level of visibility, we will be looking visibly out the window and being able to see stuff, which is really nice. It would have been annoying if this entire flight was just in complete fog and cloud. Can't wait for the A2A twin general aviation aircraft, the Piper Aerostar. It's going to be really interesting. But this does look beautiful. You know, you have to hand it to Carenado for making beautiful aircraft. They just need to fix the bugs. Need to fix the bugs, and then it's going to be a nice little stable aircraft out on. I think once the bugs are fixed, there's no reason why I wouldn't be very happy flying this around casually, like I do now. It's just for simming seriously in a full VATSIM environment. I think I would prefer the quality of A2A aircraft, but you know, that's just me. Okay, swinging around, you can see the airport and the runway there ahead of us, about 1 o'clock off the nose, and we're going to do, like I say, like a left-hand downwind approach before we have a look at the radial. Let's just pull the manifold back down to 16 inches because we descended. We're descending down into denser pressured, denser atmosphere, and that is pushing our manifold pressure back up. So, and also another way to slow down is actually to decrease the RPM. So I'm actually going to bring that back to maybe 1500 RPM, like so. And that's going to help bring our speed down. And in bringing down the speed, which you can see is declining now, let's just bring in 1,000 feet per minute in the descent. Ah, the visuals. I just can't get enough of the visuals. You can tell I've been someone who's been flying flight simulators for years and years and years and years. I just can't get enough of all the good visuals. My trade is photography and video production, so I do love visuals of things. I do love looking at things and getting beautiful like camera angles and all that sort of thing. It's a bit of a hobby. So there we go in the descent. Actually, I might make that a screenshot. So let's just wait for that bar at the top to disappear, and then I will hit screenshot, and then I believe that that's a previous shot I took. Let's just add a new and just dump that in there. Okay. So we're on the Bowerman traffic. Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo is currently entering left downwind for runway 24. Intentions full stop landing with the ILS 24. Blah blah blah. You tell I haven't done a Unicom call in a while. Okay, let's go mixture rich since we're coming down through. Wow, actually. Already down through 1,500 feet. That's lower than I thought. I think the sea definitely gives you doesn't give you a good sense of altitude there. Okay, let's just bring up that. Let's go 500 feet. Let's level off at 1,000. And the airport is just under my wing. So let's go landing lights on. Actually, let's keep the RPM at 1500. Let's bring the manifold pressure down. And as we flatten out at 1,000 feet, we will be decreasing our speed. And I'm just, yeah, there's the glide slope. Good. I'm glad I've seen the glide slope. Ah, I'm getting so many memories of flying around this area years and years ago in Flight Simulator X, and then P3D, and now I'm doing it in MSFS, and I'm really looking forward to see if Orbex will release their scenery package for this region, because I would definitely enjoy that. Okay, and in true fashion, Mantok fashion, I have blown through my proposed altitude, so let's just put a cheeky climb in there and climb up to 1,000 feet. And we're waiting for the glide to be underneath the glide. We want to be underneath the glide slope to capture it safely. Okay, you can see we're now 100 knots. Now coming down to 95 knots and coming down to 90 knots. When we're at 90 knots, well actually now, yeah, it's about 90 knots. I will put our props to max. And in decrease again, keep the manifold pressure about 15-16 inches. We don't want any more speed than we already have. So let's go, that's 1,000 feet just there. Let's throw on the altitude hold. And actually, this aircraft just wants to accelerate. It's so crazy. Okay, I'm going to bring the RPM all the way down. Actually, I'm just going to go almost completely idle feather. Because the problem with this aircraft so far is that you can't reduce your speed into the beep zone. Because it beeps at you. Well, maybe that is the way it should be done. Okay, let's go one notch of flaps. And with one notch of flaps, then now let's go RPM full. Yeah, that will still give us that beep. You see, how are you supposed to fly? How are you supposed to slow down? That makes no sense. Right, let's go. Let's pull around and find that radial, find that localizer now. So my question is, how are you supposed to slow the aircraft down if... There we go. Let's go gear down. So before you ever put the gear down... Sorry, I'm going to explain it while I'm on the ground. Let's go props full now. Since we now have enough drag, more than enough drag to keep at the appropriate speed. Ah, you see, it's another situation where I wanted to turn the heading knob, and in slightly missing it, I all of a sudden zoomed out. Okay, now that the gear is down, I can now reduce the throttle all the way down to idle, and it's not going to beep at me, and that will slow the aircraft down. But my problem was before I put the gear down, I was trying to slow the aircraft down by pulling out the power, but then it would beep at me because I didn't have the gear down, but it was too fast to put the gear down. So to get down to a speed to then release the gear, you need to pull the RPM down to feather the propellers to reduce speed. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly on what the procedure is. If you guys can enlighten me, if it is a permitted procedure to reduce the power into the beep zone to actually be able to bring the gear down, to slow it down. Okay, I'm going to go another notch of flaps. And the aircraft is now fully still on autopilot, and it's locking onto that localizer. And you can see the glide slope starting to come down to meet me, so that's going to happen. I'm going to go my final notch of flaps, which you can see there. That's going to create quite a significant amount of drag along with the gear. Bowerman traffic, Golf Lima, India Foxtrot Romeo is on short final runway 24, Bowerman traffic. Okay, nose is going down and it's trying to hold that glide slope, so let's pull the power. There we go. Beautiful. Ah, beautiful. Look at that. Fully automatic with the autopilot on, tracking the approach. Gear down, flaps full. Sun glinting off the metalwork. That is a beautiful, beautiful sight. But let's just make sure that we don't stall. That would be stupid. Just do a final check. Mixture's rich, props are full. Let's go. Cowl flaps closed now. Let's go. Carb heat's closed. Yeah, it is a beautiful sim. You can't get away from that. You know, it has its issues, but it is a beautiful sim. Okay. Right, let's start thinking now. Let's go off the autopilot now. Now I have control. And I will just start trimming and working the aircraft onto the threshold. Just pull the power even more. It's just... Little nav map is telling me my my wind has swung round to the south, so I now got a 3-knot crosswind. So 70 knots. Beginning a flare, transitioning into the flare, and then pulling the power out. Beautiful. And touch down the nose wheel and keep her on the center line. Beautiful. Gently increase the braking. And welcome to Bowerman. Let's go flaps up. And let's just bring the power up to about 1,000 to 1,100 RPM. And let's lean for ground operations without, yeah, for some reason it doesn't like it. A throttle quadrant can't behave when I'm on the ground. Okay, let's just take this. Let's go landing lights off. Let's go strobe off. Oh, I turned on the autopilot there by accident. There we go. So in conclusion, ladies and gents, the Carenado Piper Seminole, I do like it. I will be flying it again, definitely. I like its cruising capabilities. It cruises, it can go up to just over 900 nautical miles on full tanks. It cruises at a good speed. It's a beautiful looking aircraft. The visuals are very good. And I just hope that Carenado patch it soon so that it actually doesn't have crash to desktop functions, because currently there are 2 click spots in the cockpit that if I click I will guarantee you have an immediate crash to desktop, which actually that's probably the way I'm going to finish the video off, guys. I'm going to finish the video off with using that feature. So what I'll do actually is I will just taxi us over to a hangar. I just love looking at it. It just is a beautiful aircraft, you know. Don't know who put that there. So yeah, one day hoping that Orbex will give us a custom Bowerman scenery package as they did for the other flight simulator platforms that they offer. But all in good time. Orbex have a lot to get through. So, okay, so let's go parking brake on. So let's go radio master off, nav lights, recognition lights. So all our lights are off. Let's put off our heaters, like so. And then let's go off with the fuel pumps. Is that not clickable back? There it is. Oh, come on. Continue. There we go, thank you. Does that not click? Okay, I give up. Okay, there we go. Whatever, I give up. Okay, so that's there, and then let's turn off the mags. Oh, hello. Somehow I'm able to click the mag button through the guard. Did you guys see that? Okay, never mind. So that's the way it is. That is the Piper Seminole by Carenado for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So what should we do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch that tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, let's click this. You ready? Click, freeze frame, and crash. There we go. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you next time, hopefully when Carenado releases a patch for that.